knife finishes. They are the pinnacle of CS skins. I've made a knife tier list, I have made a map tier list, an agent tier list, a music kit tier list, and I thought the first actual skin tier list I should make should be one on knives. So let's get straight into it. I know you guys have been joining my tier lists recently, but don't worry, there is some variety content coming soon, maybe even some stuff on other games too, but we've got some gameplay videos coming too, so I'm not just going to be making skin videos and tier lists, but here we go for now. Let's get straight into it. Right away, we'll go over the tiers. So we've got rubbish tier. These are just skins that I don't like. I do not like them at all. Meh, which is like alright, just about passable. Decent enough is good. You know, I like these skins. These are pretty good. I would consider getting them. Pretty rad is like these skins are pretty damn good. I would definitely get these. And they're the better skins. And then incredible, this is your S tier. This is like top of the range, like my favourite skins. So yeah, Fade is going straight in incredible. It's my favourite skin. Take this Karambit Fade for example. This is my dream knife. I don't have one, but this is what I hope I'll have one day. This is just straight up my dream knife. But yeah, Fade is the best in my opinion. It looks amazing on every single knife, which is really important. There's a lot of skins on this list that look great on some knives and crap on others, but just looks so good on every knife. It is my favourite and always will be. Next we have the Doppler phases. Now, I'm going to rank them all in one go real quick. So starting off, we've got phase 1, which I'm also going to put, I'm going to put in pretty rad. It's top of pretty rad. Phase 1 is really good, don't get me wrong. But I just think there's one other phase that I think is just a little bit better. We'll get onto that shortly. Undeniable though, it still looks awesome, sort of like got a galaxy sort of pattern going on. It is super clean. It's like you've taken a Black Pearl and a phase 2 and merged them together. Really nice. On the subject of phase 2, we have phase 2. This is going in incredible. This is my favourite Doppler phase, even more so than the gems and the gamma Dopplers, which we'll get into a little bit later. Phase 2 is without a doubt my favourite Doppler phase. I mean, look at it. It's pink. It's a pink
First of all,
knife.
gay.
It just looks so cool. And depending on the pattern you've got, because each Doppler pattern is different, they have like different swirls and colours going on. You can get like a full-on pink, like quote pink gem, which just look amazing. But yeah, no, Doppler phase 2 is my favourite. So I'm going to quickly rank phase 3 and 4 together because they're very similar. Phase 3 is going in decent enough. I'm just not a massive fan of the turquoise greeny bits you get in phase 3. I would just pick a phase 4 over it pretty much any day of the week. And phase 4 is going in pretty rad. I really like phase 4. I mean, it's just basically a sapphire with black in it, and you can even get fake sapphires as well, which don't have much black in at all. So yeah, it's just basically a slightly worse sapphire for a fraction of the price. Which, speak of the devil, brings us on to sapphire, which I'm going to put towards the bottom of pretty rad. It's still extremely nice, and it's very blue on some knives, but on other knives it does just look too similar to phase 4 in my opinion, and I think it looked a little bit better in CSGO. But yeah, I can't deny, it still looks incredibly good, and very blue. But you've just got to get a good pattern one if you are going to get one, and I completely understand if you're a blue fan. This is like probably the best blue skin. Next we've got Black Pearl, which is going at the top of pretty rad. It's my second favourite Doppler phase. I really like Black Pearl. Also, can't deny the rarity and prestige that this phase has is a little bit attractive to me. I've always liked rare stuff, but yeah, I mean, just like the black and purple just looks so mean, so evil, just so mysterious. It just looks awesome. Next we've got Ruby. Now I'm going to rank all the red skins together actually, so bear with me just 1 second. So we'll start with Ruby, and I'm going to put Ruby in decent enough. Now there's a reason why. Personally, on knives like the Talon and the Karambit, in-game, the Ruby just looks a little bit too orange for my liking. It's not as red and pronounced as it was in CSGO. It's sort of, I feel like it's been mega nerfed. But I mean, it still does look really good, and it's still a fantastic finish, and if you own one, they are super high tier. But I just don't think they're the best red, in my opinion. That would go to Slaughter, which is, I would probably rank as my third, maybe fourth or fifth favourite skin in the game for knives. I've always really liked Slaughter. A Slaughter is what I currently own in CS as well, and I've had this knife for a really long time, my classic knife Slaughter. You can get different patterns, you can get like heart patterns, you can get a mirrored pattern like I have, diamond patterns, like it's so cool, and the red looks amazing on it. It is the best red knife finish in my opinion, and that's why it's so high. So next we have Autotronic, which again I'm putting in decent enough. I do think Ruby looks better than it, I'll be real. You know, I'm not going to say some absolute blasphemy here. I'll probably put Ruby at the top of decent enough as well, and it'll probably just stay there as well. I don't see anything else in this tier getting better than Ruby. But yeah, the thing about Autotronic is on a couple of knives it looks a little bit weird, but on most of them it still looks really good, and you're getting a really clean looking pattern, and you can even get it in like battle scarred and it'll still look really good. Like as we can see, like I like the carbon fiber that we get with it, I like the brushed steel that we get with it, and the red is really pronounced and really nice. The handles are always also super clean too. Just overall a very nice skin. Okay, we're getting into an OG now, which is Crimson Web. And Crimson Web I'm going to put slap bang in the middle of pretty rad. I've always really liked Crimson Web. I'm always a massive sucker for shiny skins. So to have a matte finish skin this high on the list, it has to be good. And Crimson Web like just does not disappoint. I like the fact it's pattern based, so you can get several different big webs like the one we have here. It's got a really nice red colour to it. Every Crimson Web has like this matte black handle as well, which can make some really like interesting knife combos, for example. I've had a couple of Crimson Webs, I've really liked them. In fact, Crimson Web is available on some skins as well. I have a Desert Eagle Crimson Web, as well as a Revolver Crimson Web, and I also have a CZ Crimson Web as well. So you can get the Crimson Web on loads of different skins as well. It's just a very historic and OG skin. Okay, next we have the Gamma Dopplers. So I'm going to rank these all in one go again, like I did with the normal Dopplers. Now starting off we have Gamma Doppler Phase 1, which I'm putting in pretty rad. I don't know if I'll put it in front of the normal Doppler Phase 1, but wow, like this skin looks so good. I love the purple, the blue, the green. It's just, I don't know, it just kind of looks like mythical, if that makes sense. I can't really explain why it makes me feel that way, but it just looks so unique. And I'm not a massive fan of green skins, so I'll make this quite clear right now before I rank the rest of these. I'm not a big fan of green skins, but the Phase 1 Gamma Doppler is awesome. So, getting on to Phase 2. So, Phase 2 is pretty much your fake emerald. You know, it's very similar to an emerald, and it's very green. Phase 2 tends to be one of the more expensive Gamma Doppler finishes. I mean, this one here, you could probably say to me is an emerald, and upon first glance, I'd probably believe you. But you know, you've got the little blue swirls that are in it as well that do make it a Phase 2. And I'll be honest, Phase 2 is nice, but I'm going to put it in decent enough in front of the Autotronic. Again, I'm not a massive fan of green skins, so that's why. Phase 3, we've got more of a blue going on. It's a little bit similar to the Phase 1. It's still got a lot of green though. You know, I do quite like Phase 3. It looks really good on some knives, like the Huntsman. One of my friends owns a Huntsman Phase 3, and it looks so good. So I'll be real, I do actually think I prefer Phase 3 to Phase 2, but it's still going in the decent enough tier. Actually, no, I might put it towards the bottom of pretty rad. I do actually quite like Phase 3 Gamma Doppler. Up next, we've got Phase 4. Now, Phase 4 tends to have a little bit of yellow in it. And is very turquoise. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the colour turquoise, so I'll be real, Phase 4 I'm a bit on the fence with. Again, on some knives it looks really good, on others not so much. I think it's got to go in decent enough, but I would put it below the Phase 2. I do think the Phase 2 looks a little bit better. And then finally we have the Emerald, the gem pattern of this group of knives. Yeah, so the Emerald does look really, really good. I think my only issue with it is I'm not a massive fan of the black swirls, and it's very green. I don't know. I've always sort of thought the Emerald is a little bit overrated. I know a lot of CS players love, and a lot of gamers in general love the color green, but for me, it just doesn't really do it for me. I do still think it's probably like my second favourite gem pattern, if I'm being honest. So with that in mind, I think I'll put it slightly above the sapphire. It's hard to tell for me though, because I do really like sapphire. I just think with sapphire, I would probably 9 times out of 10 just get a phase 4, and with an emerald, I just wouldn't even really entertain getting one because it just doesn't really do it for me. So, but I still can't deny it does look extremely nice, and if I ever unboxed one, I'd be really happy with it, and I'd probably just main it. So I'm still putting it in pretty rad. You know, it definitely warrants the price tag. It is incredibly unique. Up next, we've got the Marble Fade. Now, Marble Fade used to be really, really good. I used to really, really, really like Marble Fade. You know, honestly, to the point where I would kind of prefer it over Standard Fade, but I do think CS2 has ruined it a little bit. I'm going to put it in decent enough, but right at... No, I'm putting it in pretty rad, but towards the bottom. If you can get like a Fire and Ice or a fake Fire and Ice, it looks really cool, but I just really have never liked the yellow on Marble, which really is a shame, because this, you know, this skin used to be so high tier and so desired. I mean, it still is now, don't get me wrong, and if you own a Marble Fade, they are still awesome, but they are a shadow of what they used to be. Freehand is up next, and although I like the colour purple, this is going to be my first meh skin. I don't know, something about it just doesn't quite do it for me. Don't get me wrong, I like the purple on it. It's pretty cool, and I like the fact that like every pattern's pretty unique. I mean, this one's extremely, you know, silver. And I do like how shiny it is, but overall, like, some of the designs I just really don't like, and I just think it does look a bit of a mess. Tiger Tooth is up next, and this is probably going to be difficult, very difficult to rank. I think I'm going to put this towards the top of Pretty Rad, and I'm actually going to bring Black Pearl and Phase 1 into the Incredible tier. And the reason why is because I think Pretty Rad's getting pretty padded out, and looking at the rest of these skins, I can't really see any more that are going into the top tier. So yeah, I think I'll keep it as this. Tiger Tooth is fantastic, but I don't know, I've just always preferred other finishes. Don't get me wrong though, Tiger Tooth is your only like out of one of 2 options for like a gold knife, so you've only got like 2, this and the Law, and this is definitely, in my opinion, the better of the 2. But yeah, it does look superb on certain skins, but on others it just looks a little bit average. Tiger Tooths that have like a wooden handle, like the Navajar and the gut knife, look amazing. I thought I'd add that as well. But now we're on the subject of gold skins, I might as well bring Case Hardened here as well, but we've got Law, which I'm going to put in decent enough. I'm going to put that behind the Autotronic. I've never been a huge fan of Law, but I definitely see the appeal in higher condition, in lower floats, sorry. It does look super cool, and the green handle is very nice. I do just think, because it's a matte finish, that's what's holding it back. If this skin was shiny, I think I'd probably prefer it to Tiger Tooth, but as a result, I'm always picking Tiger Tooth over this if I want a gold knife. Next we've got Case Hardened, which again is actually going to go into the meh tier, unless you've got like a crazy blue gem. Case Hardens are just overrated and mid, in my opinion. And to be fair, even if you have a blue gem, why pay tens of thousands of dollars for a blue gem when you can pay a fraction of that for a sapphire if you really wanted to? Or a phase 4? We've got Damascus Steel next, which is another one that I'm going to put in decent enough. I'm also going to put Stained in as well, and I'm putting these 2 together because I do think they look really similar, personally. You know, they're very, very simple knives, but they do still look really cool. I think on some knives I prefer Stained, if I'm being honest, because I really like the shine and some of the patterns. But then on others, the M9 bayonet included, I prefer the Damascus Steel. So for me it depends on the knife, but I do sort of see them both as very similar knives. I just see like Damascus as a chroma version of Stained personally. That's probably what they were going for anyway. Blue Steel is next, and Blue Steel is a pretty rad skin. It's pretty blue. My only issue with Blue Steel is you've got to get it in a low float to make it quite blue, otherwise it gets really black. Not that that's a problem, like this is a factory new Blue Steel and it looks very blue, but I mean I'll quickly grab a battle scar just so you can see. I mean, as you can see, the difference is night and day. The black Blue Steel is a lot darker. On the M9 it's a lot more pronounced, which is good. You can still quite clearly tell that it's blue, but on a lot of knife skins, like the Blue Steel doesn't look that great in high floats, sorry. But overall it's one of the most liquid items in all of like the CS knife market, so it makes sense as to why I've put it so highly. I just think it's towards the bottom of pretty rad. So yeah. Okay, next we've got Rust Coat, and Rust Coat I'm also putting in meh. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's terrible, and it's just about passable, but I don't think it's great by any sense of the imagination. I mean, at the end of the day, it is literally just a rusty vanilla. So yeah, of which I don't have vanilla on here. So imagine vanilla sort of like towards the top of decent enough. I'd probably put it like behind, like in front of the phase 3. So you know, right in the middle of the entire tier list. I know there's a lot of vanilla enjoyers out there, but for me, I've never really seen the appeal. Black Laminate next, and we're going to put this towards the middle of decent enough. Black Laminate's really good. It's one of those skins that you don't actually really need to get in a low float. The sort of handle gets affected quite a lot depending on the float, but the actual blade itself looks really similar, so you can just get away with having a battle scarred one, to be honest. It is just a black shiny knife. You cannot go wrong with a black laminate. I do think it looks a little bit better than the vanilla, but overall I would rank the vanilla higher because you know, you can't really go wrong with the vanilla. It combos a lot better than a black laminate in my opinion, so that's why I put it higher. Okay, we're then going to get into the slightly lower tier skins. I'm going to bring these one all up now and sort of compare them all. I won't do many actual like, you know, in-game inspections of these because they're all low tier. But Forest DD Pat we're going to put in rubbish. Boral Forest we're going to put in rubbish. Scorched is also going in rubbish. Urban Mast is going in meh, but the bottom of meh, and then Safari Mesh can go in the bottom of decent enough. Safari actually isn't that bad. It gets too much hate in my opinion, but these three, having owned some of all of them, like, I just don't really like them. Boral Forest is probably the best out of the three. Scorched is kind of cool because you do actually get a little bit of a shine with Scorched. You know, I used to think Scorched was just like missing textures, but it is actually quite a shiny skin if you see it in game. So, you know, Scorched you can just about get away with, I would say, but it does still look so like out of place and odd, so that's why I put it in rubbish. But getting back onto Safari, I think Safari is really underrated. I think it's very clean and it can combo quite well with some of the low tier gloves in the game, and on some knives Safari Mesh does look really good. I mean, I personally think the M9 bayonet, just every skin looks good on it, and Safari is no, you know, is no different. It's a decent skin. Okay, we now have Bright Water, which is also going in meh. I'll put this behind Freehand. I've never been like a crazy, like, massive fan of Bright Water, but it is easily the best budget blue skin that you can get your hands on, without a doubt. We're then going to put Night towards the top of meh, right at the top. On some skins, Night looks amazing, on others it looks terrible. The two highlights I would say would be the Butterfly Night and the M9. Unfortunately for me, Night just hasn't aged very well, and unless you get one in like minimal wear or a very low float field tested, it's going to be crazy scratched. The handle is very nice, I will admit. You know, I love the blue handle that Night has. It goes so well with Lunar Weave gloves, oh my god. But other than that, 9 times out of 10 I'm picking an Ultraviolet, which brings me on to the final skin, which is Ultraviolet, which is going towards the middle of decent enough. I'm a big fan of Ultraviolet. I think it is just a better version of Night. I love the purple handle and the black blade. Again, get one in a low float. But let me tell you, this thing in a low float, just for every knife, just looks phenomenal. I love the purple handle, the black blade. It just is so clean. Probably the cleanest knife skin in the entire game, in my opinion. So yeah, but again, like, I'm not a massive fan of matte finishes. So that's why it's sort of here on the list and not much higher, but I completely respect it as a skin as well. I know that loads of people really like Ultraviolet, and it's evident as well because factory new Ultraviolets, although I believe they're float capped, so they're very rare, but factory new Ultraviolets are extremely expensive because they have such a big cult following and collectors love them. But anyway, folks, this is the tier list. Let me know what you think. I think I'm going to keep it as is. I've sort of ranked them all based on how I like them. So as you might be aware of tier lists, the top of the tier list is the one that I like the most, and the bottom is the one I like the least in the tier. So my least favourite skin in the entire game for knives, I would probably say would be Forest DD-Pat, if I'm being honest. I'll quickly move Scorched. And then my favourite is Fade. Again, going over the tiers just real quick. Rubbish means I just don't really like these. Meh is like, don't get me wrong, if you've got a knife that's in Meh, and you've watched this video and you're like, oh my god, Meh? Three-handed Meh? You're blind. I'm not, mate, I'm not. It is Meh. It is. All of these ones are Meh. There's nothing crazy about them, but they're not bad. They're not bad. And then decent enough skins, like these are all like really good. You know, decent enough is like, you want these are good, and then Pretty Rad are awesome, and then the incredible skins are just top of the top. They really are. But yeah, this is my tier list, guys. Thanks for all the support recently. Again, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, and look out for new videos because I'm going to be doing some gameplay ones soon as well, so I'm just getting the footage for them. But yeah, thanks everyone, peace.